Alright everybody, I'm back again. I'm the one-man drywall army. If this is your first time here on my channel, I want to just say welcome. Alright, so today I'm going to be doing another video in regards to drywall bidding, drywall estimating. But unlike some of my other videos that I just kind of pinpointed some really rough numbers, I'm going to get into more details about really all of the bidding process, because there are a lot of things that need to be calculated, and so I'm going to show you guys how and what I itemize, and that's the key word, is to itemize everything. Okay, so if you're just starting off, the chances are that you don't really know all your numbers yet, and by itemizing every little expense, you'll eventually get up to speed with all the costs of doing business. Okay, so I'll do my best to try to put as much information out there, but at the same time keep it simple. Okay, so what I've done is put the bidding process into two categories. The first one's going to be overhead, and then the next one after that is just going to be direct job related expenses. Okay, so on this video I am going to talk about direct job related expenses. So what are direct job related expenses? Well, I've written it down here because I just didn't want to you guys to watch me write it. So what that entails is labor, materials, rentals of equipment, if you've got to rent a scissor lift, man lift, if you got to rent taping tools, a sprayer, whatever, just rentals of tools. And then you got dump fees, as well as profit. Okay, so before I get all into it, I let me just add that in this video I'm gonna explain the stick-by-stick approach, because it's important to like I said earlier, to know what your expenses are going to be in details. When you use the square foot ruler like I've described in some of my other videos, that's only for the work in itself. It doesn't include profit, it doesn't include overhead, it doesn't include the rentals, it doesn't include dump fees, it doesn't include cleanup. So it's very important to know that, and I didn't make that clear, and so I'm taking the time today to explain that to you. Okay, so the first thing I want to bring up is pertaining to labor. Regardless of what you pay anyone, whether it's $10 an hour or $40 an hour, you're going to need to pay taxes. You're going to need to pay unemployment, Social Security, employer side. You're going to need to put workman's comp in there. Okay, so generally, for the way that I do business, it usually comes out to about 35% more. So for example, if I'm paying my guys $30 an hour, 35% on top of that is roughly another $10 an hour. So using the $40 an hour to cover labor is what I use, and that's only for example purposes. Your numbers may be different. Another thing I would love to bring up, which is kind of a little bit off topic but not really, the reason why I pay my guys more than $26 an hour is because of workman's comp. Workman's comp under my trade classification, the rate for a guy that's making $26 an hour or more is about 10%. And then if you're not making $26, you're making less, then the workman's comp rate is going to be about 20%. So that's a huge difference. So I generally will pay somebody $30 an hour, just because they have more experience, they have a least tendency to get hurt. Okay, so all right, now moving forward, what I also do is do the stick-by-stick approach on labor, and I'll give you an example of what I mean by that. I literally break down the job in labor costs by every last details. For example, if I know there's going to be approximately 2 man days regarding for that particular job, then I'll say, okay, 2 man days for labor. And then I will also say, let me write this down. So I go 2 man days for labor, okay? And then if I think that the job is going to take 1 man day to lay it out, I'll put 1 to lay out. And then if I figure it's going to take 15 man days to frame it, I add that up. Let's just say 15 days to 15 man days to hang it. And then let's just say 17 man days to finish it. Okay, so what a man day is basically 8-hour slot. All right, so just wanted to clarify that. And so right here I'm at 50 man days. You're going to times 8 hours. It comes out to 400 man hours to do this particular job at $40 an hour. It's what we talked about after workman's comp, after employers, all the goods, okay? So at 400 hours at $40, okay, we are going to be at $1,600. That means $16,000 in labor expenses. All right, so one of the questions that comes up to me, do you add 10%? Well, that's for you to decide. If you add 10%, you know, that may knock you out of the game, the bidding process, or, you know, the bidding game. So you're going to have to decide for yourself, you know, do you add 10% to that? I generally don't, personally, just because I kind of loosely, anyways, I loosely calculate labor from the start. So there's no real need for me to add another 10%. Okay, so now materials. I'm gonna move forward to materials. Once again, I think it's important that you, if you're just starting off and you're figuring out your numbers, you really need to do a stick-by-stick approach and just basically calculate how much materials you're gonna need. Let's say, for example, once again, if you got about 100 feet of new wall, and you determine that it's okay and it needs to be 24 on center, well, you know right off the bat that you're going to need at least 65 sticks of stud in order to just cover that, just to cover the basic wall framing of 100 feet of wall. Okay, so whatever you strike up as far as a material list is, you take that down and have the supplier quote you on the materials. And once once you get your material list and a quote on it, just add 10% to it. When it comes to the adding the 10% on materials, I do it. But when it comes to adding 10% on labor, I don't. But once again, this is something that you're going to need to decide if you want to add it or not add it. If you don't add it and turns out that you needed it, then one of the other areas is going to suffer. So just be sure to try to be as detailed as possible, especially in the beginning when you're figuring it all out. Rentals and dump fees, that's going to be a little bit easier to determine how much that's going to cost. Unlike, labor and materials, it can get out of control pretty quick. So it's just being sure whatever those expenses are, if you got to rent a scissor lift, to find out what it's going to cost, and then maybe even go a little bit more. But if you go a little bit more, once again, that's going to make you a little less competitive. And then profit. All right, so here's another one that you're going to have to determine how much profit you want to make. I know in my early days, I put zero profit, and I didn't make a ton of money. Because I just really didn't know what was too much and what was not enough. I was trying to figure it out, and and still didn't get every job, even though I didn't put profit on there. I know people who say 5-10% profit is kind of their margins, and then I know other people who say they need to make 25%. But once again, you're going to need to determine for yourself. The more profit you put on there, the less competitive you're going to be. Okay? And so the key to all this, to your direct job related expenses, is to make sure that you got yourself covered. And the only way to do that is to itemize every single expense. Okay, because you don't want one area to suffer because you left something out. All right, so I'm going to fast forward a little bit. Now you're bidding jobs, you're actually getting jobs, and you are you're seeing how jobs are unfolding and just how effective your numbers are. Now you've actually even got some data, so you can reflect back on and say, hey, look, I made, our numbers were good here, but our numbers weren't good there. And so now that you've got data, you are able to make adjustments in your bidding process, and also use it in a way so where you bid jobs that you find yourself in similar situations that you have data from, you can use that to, without a doubt that, hey, 10'6" framing does take this long, especially if the deck is 14 feet high. It's roughly gonna cost that. It's gonna cost, a certain amount of money. But nevertheless, by no means doing 5 or 10 jobs it's gonna make everything right. So every job is unique. You wanna just make sure that you got yourself covered by just using previous jobs as a reference to bidding new jobs, and that way you're just gonna basically improve, and just it's all in hopes to refine the process down so it doesn't take as much time. And as we all know, that time means money, and the faster you can do anything, the better off you're going to be, which I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, you're gonna make more money. All right, so I hope that made sense to you guys. I'm not gonna say anything today in regards to overhead, because overhead really, that's gonna vary. That's gonna vary from company to company. If you're starting off, you probably have very little of it, but I'm gonna leave that for another video, because I want to kind of keep my videos down to about 10 minutes, because I know some of you guys just struggle with hanging on for the whole video. But don't worry, I don't take that personal, because I'm not really here to make myself look good or to act smart. My videos are really just centered around just trying to help somebody that is just starting off, because I know when I was first getting into the contracting of drywall, that nobody was going to teach me, and I just want to let you know that, hey, I want to save you some of the heartache that I went through. But I hope that you found this video useful. I hope that your life is blessed, and I will see you guys on the next one. All right, take care.